Hi guys, look at these lovely big tits. Do you know what we are? We're fucking cock destroyers, aren't we, babe?
Fucking destroyers.
Yeah, fucking cock destroyers.
Do you know what? Rub those fucking balls in our mouths.
Yeah,
hey,
look
they
at
will
that.
fucking teabag you.
Hey! What about me?
What about you, love?
Can I be a cock destroyer too?
You are dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented.
Fucking
dirty
spunk
bitches.
everywhere.
Yeah. Big fucking tits. Yeah, are you excited about our game now? How much fucking spunk
You're gonna be fucking
we are,
blasted in
and
it.
we're going to get fucked and everything. On Friday night we're sold out, so we've got another morning gangbang.
Six fucking bits, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
we're
fucking
good.
top.
Our faces, spunk all over.
Hey, what's up you guys? It's the little onion that could, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be discussing, you guessed it, Lea, Roxas, and Xion, the new medals that have recently come out. And boy, oh boy, am I excited to talk about them, because Lea in particular is very interesting. Xion's pretty interesting too, and Roxas is, well, he's there. But before we get into the video, you guys know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. And also, thank you guys for 900 subscribers, Hunty Bunty. Yes, we did it, y'all. We did it. And now we're on the climb to 1,000. So I thank each and every single one of you that has supported my videos thus far. This would not be possible without you guys. And also, shout out to Robaloid for making the very helpful information cards on all of these medals. I'm gonna be using them in this video, so if you guys haven't followed him on Twitter yet,
get your life together.
But without further ado, let's get into the video. We're gonna talk about Roxas first, because he is actually the one that I like the least. I know, surprising, right? They kind of did this motherfucker dirty, but let's talk about it. So, he is a tier 10 upright speed medal with a base strength of 50,494. He costs 3 gauges, and he has a multiplier of 20.80. He deals 3 hits that ignore target's attributes, probably my most favorite part of his ability. And for 2 turns, he increases speed medal strength by 6,000, increases your general upright and speed strength by 15 tiers, and decreases the enemy's defenses by the same amount for the same attributes, increases your guilt bonus by 220%, and also increases the enemy counters by 2. His supernova is a mastery supernova, and for 1 turn, he increases speed medal strength by 12,000, increases your general upright and speed strength by 15 tiers, decreases the enemy's defenses by the same amount for the same attributes, increases your guilt bonus by 320%, and triggers before slot 1 is activated when defending in PvP, or if you have auto mode on in PvE. As you can tell, he's kind of a little bit
Basic.
Like I said, my favorite part about his ability is definitely that deals 3 hits that ignore target's attributes. That makes him a very viable target for a lot of content, including being an awesome raid medal. The things for me that kind of bring down this medal a little bit is that he isn't a universal medal strength buffer, right? So like Sora and Kairi are definitely better than this medal in terms of giving medal strength buffs, because they are 1 turn increases by 10,000 medal strength, whereas Roxas only increases by 6,000, at least in his inherent ability, over 2 turns. So even if you have extra attack, within 1 turn, you're only gonna get 12,000 speed medal strength specifically, versus Sora and Kairi, who offer 20,000 medal strength in 1 turn. So this is kind of disappointing to see. But his supernova is pretty solid. All around, he is a decent medal. He has a great multiplier, has a great base strength with chips and dales, of course, and he certainly does have a place. That ignores target attributes is really good, and I actually do want a copy for my raid setup. Now let's talk about Supernova Plus Plus Illustrated Kingdom Hearts 3 Lea next. He is probably the most unique out of all 3 in that he brings something new to the table that we haven't seen for copy medals. He is an upright tier 10 power medal with a base strength of 50,831. He requires 3 gauges, and he has a multiplier of 20.80. 20.20. I'll explain the first line in a second, but let's read off his effect. He deals 2 hits, and for 1 turn he increases metal strength by 10,000, increases your general upright and PSM strength by 15 tiers, so he covers basically everything for all upright metals, your general strength, upright strength, and PSM strength, and he does the same thing for the enemy's defenses as well. And he increases your guilt bonus by 220%. His supernova increases metal strength by 12,000, increases your general and upright strength by 15 tiers, and decreases the enemy's general and upright defenses by 15 tiers, increases your guilt bonus by 320%, ignores target defense boosts, and triggers before slot 1 is activated when defending in PvP or if you have auto mode on in PvE. So the interesting thing about Lea is this fail to imitate special attack of 3 metals before. That means his inherent effect that I just read off only triggers if he has nothing to copy. So for example, if you put Lea in slots 1, 2, or 3, he will have nothing to copy because he copies whatever metal precedes him by 3 slots. There's not 3 slots before him if he's in slots 1, 2, or 3, meaning his inherent ability will activate. But if he is in slots 4 through 6, that inherent ability will not activate and he will act as a copy metal. I kind of like this because it brings in interesting strategies that you can play, especially for PvP. He's actually a really good PvP metal because of his supernova number 1 ignoring target's defense boost and the fact that he is a copy metal, meaning he can copy something that has an inherent ability to ignore target's defense boost, like Elsa or the new Aqua or Zexion, but he's also incredibly powerful in PvE if you do get his inherent ability to activate, meaning you put him in slots 1, 2, or 3. You can play with this strategy a lot. He is the most intriguing out of all 3 in my opinion, and I do want a copy of him. However, he is not the one I am going to be initially pulling for. I am going to be pulling for my girl, Xion. She is a tier 10 upright magic metal with a base strength of 50,770. She requires 3 gauges, and she has a multiplier of 20.20, so the same as Axel's, and she deals 3 hits. For 1 turn, she increases metal strength by 10,000, increases general upright reverse and PSM strength by 15 tiers, decreases the enemy's general defense, upright, reverse, and PSM defenses by 15 tiers, increases your guilt bonus by 220%, increases your gauge count by 5, does full HP max recovery, increases the enemy's counters by 2, and also has Esuna, so cures ailments. Her supernova for 3 turns, 3 hunty. She increases metal strength by 6,000. She essentially does full buffs and debuffs for your upright metals, increases your guilt bonus by 320%, increases the enemy counters by 5, increases your gauges by 5, and triggers before slot 1 is activated when defending in PvP or if you have auto mode on in PvE. Her ability is essentially the same as Naminé's. The only difference is she gives a lot more metal strength. Naminé only gives 2,000 in her inherent ability and then 5,000 in her supernova ability, and her supernova is only lasting for 1 turn versus Xion's, which lasts for 3 turns and gives 6,000 metal strength. And the other difference is the gauge cost. Xion does cost a little bit more than Naminé. Typically with buffers, we look for them to cost 0 gauges like Terra Xehanort and Naminé, but overall, she is definitely better than Naminé, even ignoring her gauge cost, which can be mitigated using certain attack skills like attack boost 13 max and SP gauge 0 or abilities like that. Naminé still can be used in a lot of situations. You can still use second chance on her. If you have defense boost on her, she can still be used. She's even got her uses in proud mode, so I still think that she is a useful buffer. Now, Xion is pretty great, right? But is she the buffer metal that I have been talking about all this time? She is absolutely not that. What were the criteria that I look for a new meta-changing buffer? They have to elevate the meta in some way. This incremental strength increase is very slow in terms of a power creep. I wouldn't say it drastically changes the meta though. This is kind of what we've been seeing with a lot of metals that have been coming out, and I don't see Xion as any different than that. Number 2, Xion does not introduce any new mechanics whatsoever. She does not increase the buff cap at all. Xion does exactly the same thing as Naminé to a T, she just does it better. Her efficiency efficiency is slightly lower than Naminé's because Naminé has a better gauge cost,
but
what she offers is slightly more elevated than Naminé. I'm still expecting tier 11 to come. We have been stuck on tier 10 for so long, and there's also one very suspicious detail that they have not even mentioned at all. They have been giving every single one of the characters on the Kingdom Hearts 3 box art medals for this anniversary. The only one that they have yet to give us is Naminé. I still think they have every intention to release her, of course, after the anniversary. They've done this before. They did the same thing with Illustrated Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi in the very distant past for the first global anniversary. They released her during the anniversary, and then they came out with HD Naminé like a week or so later, which was the premier copy medal of its time. We don't know how they're going to change the meta. They could honestly just keep this slow power creep going, or they could completely bring back tanking medals, or they could completely bring back the need for status ailments on a boss. Things like that. We never know what direction the game will be going in, but medals that they come out with are a decent indication. Overall, she's an amazing medal. I am going for her because I said I was going for her, and I'm also going to be pulling for Aqua. I'm hoping that I'm going to get all 3 of these medals. That is my greatest hope because all of these are pretty solid medals. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Which ones are you going to go for? Are you going to go for all 3? Are you only going to go for 1? Tell me in the comments below. I want to know how all your pulls are going. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.